embargoed until 10:30 a.m. That's Washington, D.C. time. Let me make a few announcements, and then we'll turn to your questions here in the room and to our colleagues online who are already plugging in, I can see. Yesterday, as you may have seen in some press reports, Managing Director Christine Lagarde was in Berlin for meetings with the authorities, including with Chancellor Merkel. Today, the Managing Director is in Vienna, again, including meetings with the authorities. Our Deputy Managing Director, Mitsuhiro Furusawa, will be in Asia over the next couple of weeks, including in Bangladesh, Malaysia, Singapore, and finally to Japan, where in the latter stop he will be making remarks at a joint seminar hosted by our office there in Tokyo, and he told Tsubashi University, and that will be on March the 8th. I can give you the specifics of Mr. Furusawa's dates if you would like them as a follow-up. A couple of other things. You can pre-register for the spring meetings now. And we have been fairly active on the blog, IMF blog front, recently. I just want to bring to your attention a blog that we did yesterday. I know it's a topic many of you are interested in, the issue of inequality, written by my colleagues Jonathan Austri and Prakash Lungani. I think it's interesting because it in particular shows how the IMF is now beginning to concretely operationalize this work that we've been doing on the research that we've been undertaking on. And I can tell you that today we'll be publishing another blog, so you can look out for that. And again, I know it's a topic of interest to many of you. It's on the issue of sovereign debt. It's called Dealing with Sovereign Debt, the IMF Perspective. And it is co-authored by Sean Hagan, our General Counsel, Maury Obsfeld, our Economic Counselor, and Paul Thompson, who is our, as you know, Director for the European Department. So you can look out for that blog a little bit later today, Dealing with Sovereign Debt. I think it's a useful explainer. Okay, with that, let me turn to your questions in the room. Good morning, Lenny.
Good morning, it's Lena here with Capitiol. I have a question on this, of course. So, Gerry, what happened in the Eurogroup is that the Greek government actually agreed to implement difficult pension and tax reforms in order for one of your requirements to be fulfilled. So that's the one leg. And my question is what's happening with the second leg, which is equally important, and I'm referring, of course, to debt relief. Because the MD said yesterday that the volume and the level of the debt relief will be discussed at the end of the program. How can you participate in the program if only one of your two requirements is satisfied? Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions on Greece, and I can package them and can come back.
I have a question on this. Mrs. Lagarde spoke with the Secretary of Treasury 2 days ago. Can you tell us if they discussed the Greek issue? And also, we know that Mrs. Lagarde spoke with the Prime Minister of Greece. If you can give us a readout for both of these conversations. And also, I have another question, Gerry. Are you afraid that possible delays in the decision-making process of your executive board will lead to the economic suffocation of Greece? Because this is what some Europeans, and of course the Greeks, are believing.
I didn't quite, sorry, I couldn't quite catch, would lead to the something on
suffocation, economic suffocation of Greece. And I'm wondering if this is an issue that Madame Lagarde discussed with Mrs. Merkel. Thank you very much.
Okay, is there anything else? Okay, thank you.
If you can confirm that the mission will go back to Athens on Tuesday, and also if you can give us more details about the meeting, yesterday's meeting in Berlin.
considering a new loan to Greece of about $5 million. And you can comment on that and basically provide some update on any possible financial contribution of the fund.
Okay, so let me take those and then we can pick up on things that may be remaining. So let me just step back a bit then. For those who may not have followed every step of the way over the last week or so. So on Monday there was a Eurogroup meeting and the issue of Greece was discussed. And after that meeting we issued a statement, the IMF issued a statement essentially saying that we welcomed the progress made by the Greek authorities to meet the requirements of the institutions in key areas. And we said on that basis we have agreed to send back the mission to Athens. We also said in that statement that after the Eurogroup, more progress will be needed to bridge differences on other important issues, and it's too early to speculate about the prospect for reaching staff-level agreement during this mission. So that was on Monday, and then as you have just mentioned here, the Managing Director, Christine Lagarde, met with Chancellor Merkel yesterday in Berlin, and they discussed a variety of topics, of course, but including Greece. And on Greece, they too welcomed the agreement of the institutions and the Greek authorities to resume program discussions in Athens, and reiterated the importance of an early conclusion of the second review of the ESM program based on a comprehensive set of policies. The Managing Director reiterated the IMF's willingness to support the ESM program with a financing arrangement once agreement is reached on a credible package of policies and debt relief. So, coming to some of your specific questions, I think what we've been reiterating, including the Managing Director yesterday, was the fund's long-standing approach, which we've discussed here many times, the two-leg approach to Greece: reforms and debt relief. And there is no change in that position. So, again, just to try and respond to your question, Lenny, we need an upfront, credible commitment to specific debt relief measures, and the implementation of those measures can take place at a later stage, but we need the specific upfront commitment, okay? And of course, that's all contingent on implementation of the program. So the mission, which will return to Athens early next week, will be focusing on the reforms that Greece needs to undertake to credibly attain its fiscal targets and return to sustainable growth. And again, let me just reiterate, for the IMF to come on board with the financing arrangement, that debt relief is equally important as the agreement on strong policies. We thus expect a discussion on debt to take place following the discussion on policies, but both of those discussions to take place before we can recommend a program to our board. Okay?
That's before the end of the program.
So, before we can recommend IMF participation to our board, we need the discussion on both policies and debt relief. Two legs. Okay? I'm just trying to be
So there is no
clear.
change.
We've said this many times.
Yes, I
Absolutely
know.
right. We've said this many times, so I'm just trying to restate and to clarify. On the question of delay and so on, and the implications it